Hi everyone, it's Teresa. How you doing today? Happy Wednesday. We're back with another product review. 3 new products to play with, and I love them a lot. Done a little something fun for us to try today. We're going to enjoy it. But before we get started, I want you to wipe your feet off on your mat. Good job. On the count of 3, I want you to take a deep breath, hold it, feel everything that's bothering you, frustrating you, making you angry, frustrated. Or if you're just in a great mood, hold on to it and think about all the things that make you giggle. If you can breathe through that, oh, you're fortunate, because every time I think of something that makes me laugh, I'm laughing right along with the memory. All right? On the count of 3, 1, 2, 3. Hold it, feel it, and release it. Now we are free to be ourselves. We are free to be sassy and opinionated. Before I even get started, I am not paid for this. It is my own personal opinion. I do have an affiliate link below. I get a small percentage off what you buy, very small. And let's get to it. I have an honest opinion on everything. You cannot buy me. Many have tried. No one has succeeded. So today we're going to try the watercolors again. Now, if you remember, I was complaining about these in another video because I had put all of my tubes of paint in little jars. And I was looking around and I saved the packaging. This is proof. This is the first set that I received, was a set of 12. And I went through and put the tubes, pull them out, in little bins like this. And this is what happened. So I went and put binder in this. They crumble. So what are you saying? You don't like the paint? Are you kidding? I was absolutely in tears when I put the tubes in here and they dried like this, because it's a little difficult to use them crumbled, but you can still do it. You just have to be careful where you put your brushes, because you're going to pick up the little flakes and it's going to make blending a little uncomfortable. So the 12 set is still here in the box. I still use them. I don't have a problem with that whatsoever. But it still upsets me, because had I known they were going to crumble, I would have kept them in the tubes. So I'm going to show you these awesome tubes and the colors. I have some tips and tricks if you're a little bit lazy like I am, because I'm not going to chart every color in the book. I don't get enjoyment out of charting watercolors or anything like that. I get bored quick, and I tend to lose the item I'm looking for, such as I went through and did the Arteza brushes. Yeah, I lost the paperwork. It's here. I just have to find it because I have an organized studio. So let's do the colors first. Sorry, I'm rushing. They have 60 colors of watercolors here. I wanted the gouache, but they sold out. I'll get that another round, hopefully. Blessings to me. I love them. Their gouache is phenomenal. I have no complaints, but I still wouldn't put them in a jar either. I'd leave them right out of the tube. So we have the light fastness and the transparency. Okay? So this is light fast and it's opaque. This is light fast and it's slightly opaque. Half transparency. So you're going to go through and you're going to see all of the colors. Some are transparent. The ultramarine blue is transparent. You have some that are kind of a half transparent, half opaque, and then you have some that are somewhat light fast. But I don't see any on here under 2, and that's a good sign. You can use this in pretty much everything. The majority of the colors are a 3 light fastness, which is their rating. So you have titanium white, yellow pale, lemon yellow, yellow ochre, gamboge, orange yellow, scarlet red, vermilion red, burnt sienna, crimson red, rose, lilac, violet, phthalo blue, Prussian blue, ultramarine blue, deep breath, cobalt blue, cerulean blue, light green, sap green, deep green, raw umber, burnt umber, noir, which is black, apricot, beautiful color by the way, viridian, gray, sepia, sky blue, neon pink. That neon pink is bright. I'm going to show you. Orange red, Naples yellow, seaweed, saffron orange, blush pink, Bordeaux red, lime green, ballerina pink, latte brown, tan, toffee, light apricot, peach, mauve, Aegean blue. I don't know how you say it. I'm going to say Aegean. That's what I say. Stone blue, ice blue, sage green, olive green, taupe. Taupe. Wineberry eucalyptus, peregrine violet tulip. Ooh, that's a pretty color. Indigo, bubblegum pink, lavender, spiced apple, mint green, and jade green. Ooh, the colors of the rainbow, all fruity flavors. We can have fun for years. So let's get started on seeing what they look like on some stuff, right? I know. So as I told you, I'm a lazy artist when it comes to doing the graphs and stuff. So I go to the store, aka Walmart. I pick up little white price tag, and then I put them on the tube. Yep, I put them right here. So I can put two colors up against each other to know if they're going to go together or if they're going to have a contrast, which is really pretty if you're working on spring stuff. So I'm going to show you the colors. They don't come all organized like they do on the lid. You can do that yourself. I just like to get in here and just get my hands and play. So I'm going to show you the colors tray by tray. As you can see, these are the colors. Scarlet, that's spiced apple, indigo, jade green, bubble gum pink, eucalyptus, and violet. Violet is very light. It's kind of hard for me to get that. There you go. Now you're going to see some bright colors. So we have the Prussian blue, the lemon yellow, the violet, the light green, the viridian green, and the crimson red. Right there. As you can see, the colors are beautiful. This will help you out too, so you don't have to go and look at a sketch that you have done. And you can actually pick, like I said, the colors up and take it to the other tube to see if they're going to go well or not. Because your mind is like, playing tricks on you if you look at me. Or if I look at a chart, not look at me, sorry. And I noticed that these two colors look really good far apart. But if you put them side by side, they're not going to look so great. So I'd rather have them on the tube. So I can go, oh, well, that color will complement. Oh, not so greatly. Not so pretty. Yeah, not really. You know what I mean? You get me. So these are their fruity flavors. I did all of them. Had fun doing it, too. And they dry fast. Oh, boy. They are super gorgeous. And this sage green is the palest color of sage green I've ever seen. And it is so pretty. It's one of my favorite pretty greens. I love to paint with that color. The olive green is gorgeous, as always. I'm not a green lover, but I do find I like the green. But they have a wine berry that is just so beautiful. Look at that color. Couldn't you just eat it all up? Don't eat the paint. Okay, I'm being serious here. Don't eat the paint, but it's pretty. And the lavender is gorgeous. It's very vibrant. I love it. I love colors. Just pretty, pretty. Blush pink, Bordeaux red, the orange red, the cerulean blue, the cobalt blue, and then the ice blue is sort of a wintry blue. It's very cold and cool. I like it because obviously I'm in winter and I have no choice but to like it because I'm never going to get away from it. It's still snowing. So these are the other part of it. And I am determined, absolutely determined, to not put these in a tray, a vast amount, because they'll crack. Others have noticed that too. It's the binder in them. But I'm not complaining because the colors are so darn gorgeous I could just swim in them. Rose, lime green, gamboge. Gamboge is a very bright color. I have one of those in Winsor Newton too. And this lid isn't on all the way. Well, that was a bad Teresa. I did it at midnight. It's my bad. So we have ballerina pink, which looks more like a flesh tone color. All gorgeous no matter what. And we have this beautiful tray of colors. The sepia is beautiful. That is one of the shadow colors you want to use sometimes. Rumber, burnt umber, latte brown, light apricot. That apricot is very pretty. In fact, we're going to pull that out. We're going to use that. I have a scene developed already. Then you're going to see the final colors. The vermilion red is a beautiful color, as is the sap green. And I even put the white on there. And the price of these is $38.99 for 60 tubes. And let me tell you something about the $38.99 for 60 tubes of this color of paint, as pigmented as it is. You are going to have to put a lien on your house to buy a fancy out of this stuff. And I mean that literally and sincerely. What are you doing? I have to pull out some colors to play with. I have a scene, so we might as well do it now. So, anyway, as I was yapping my face off with, take a little burnt umber too. You're going to really enjoy the colors of these because you cannot go wrong with the colors. I guarantee you cannot go wrong with the colors. Pull that Naples yellow out too. The scene I have in one of their sketchbooks, and we're going to get to that here in just a second. I'm going to put these away. I'm going to keep talking to you because that's what I do. And I want to take a bit of that. I'm going to take the gray out. I was looking at that blue and thinking that blue would be pretty, but we'll wait for a bit. I'm lying. We're taking it out now. So I'm going to set this down on the floor because I don't have room on my table. I'm going to pause, and I'll be right back, and I'm going to show you some more. And the next two items that we're going to look at are their new watercolor sketchbooks, aka journals. They call them watercolor books, but me, I like anything that looks like this. What drew my eye to this was the fact that the cover of this is actually a material. Now you can buy them with a soft background, soft cover I should say, from Strathmore. But for this one size, just for one of these, you're going to pay $21.99. Yeah, that's a lot of money for one sketchbook. And here's the ditty. Are you ready? The paper in the Strathmore for $21.99 is 60-gram weight. This is 230 gram, which is 110 pound weight, and it is gorgeous. Okay, and two of these, you get 76 pages per book. Yes, I've been playing. So you get two per pack for $18.99. You're gonna love them because they don't look, they probably look a little big to you, but they're not that big. You can put them in your purse, and then you can go and you can play, because sometimes I don't want to leave the house, I just want to play. Sometimes you got to take your play with you, and these are perfect for that. This has a project in it, and I'm going to show you what I'm talking about here in a minute. But let me show you the wrapping. Everything comes with cellophane wrapped, so these were wrapped with cellophane all together. And this is what's in the cover. It shows you their watercolor pads, the Expert, the sketchbooks. And it goes on to show you their watercolor pencils. Colored pencils, drawing pencils, woodless colored pencils. I have these, they're gorgeous. I have their colored pencils, they're gorgeous. And then you go on through the permanent fabric markers. I have the permanent fabric markers in 24. They are beautiful. We will be working with them again soon. Acrylic colors, I have those in the premium. Oil colors, I don't have those. The gouache I wanted I didn't get, but that's okay. That's okay, they ran out because it is a beautiful product. You know when a company runs out of a product, it is good. And their gouache is the bestest ever. So then you have their water brushes, and I have these. So that's what this looks like. It goes on to show you all kinds of fun stuffers. Now I'm going to show you what I did. I've always wanted a little book that looked all tidy and professional, but when you opened it, it had a little bit of sass in it. What do you mean sass? Something that when your friends or whatever come over, or if you're married to a doctor and his colleague comes over and his wife's sitting there and everybody's all prim and proper because they're super educated, and they pick up your coffee book, they open it, and you realize, man, your girl's got a sense of humor. Here's what I'm talking about. Yes, these stamp beautifully. You darn right they do. This is a rubber stamp. I love to rubber stamp and stuff. This page is not finished, but I just wanted to show you that it's versatile. So if you want to make a little book like this and you're a stamper and you want to practice your coloring, or you love to color and make your own coloring books, cheap. So the word smile isn't decorated yet, but I'm going to read to you what it says. It says, my head says yoga, but my heart says cupcake. So I put a floating cupcake up there. And I blended these with, well, I think it was the odorless, I gotta stop talking fast. Odorless mineral spirits. Because when I get excited about a product, I'm seriously excited. I don't fake this enthusiasm if you threw rocks at me and say, here, play with rocks, and the rocks weren't good quality. I tell you, those rocks are just from my driveway. Yeah, I'm not excited. This makes me excited. Why? It didn't leak through the back, and that stuns me. Because this paper is, you know, it's substantial weight. Don't get me wrong, but oh, is it fun to play with. So this one is really sassy. So it says, some days you eat salads and do yoga. Some days you eat cupcakes and refuse to put on pants. It's called balance. See, that's the snark I like. I like the sassy kind of fun things that someone's going to open this up and have a belly laugh, and they're going to see that you have a sense of humor even though you're carrying your permanent bee face on. Because, you know, we all have that. Our permanent resting face is grump. Love that. So this little stretchy frog says, after this we're going for pizza. And then the pizza. Yeah, it's all in fun. So this book you're going to see quite a bit of, as is this one. And this one's going to be a coffee table book. That is just going to be, you know, a little book of little funny sayings, and so on and so forth. But there's something cool about this book that Strathmore doesn't have. When you go to the store, aka Hobby Lobby, you pick up a Strathmore book that's about this size, and you open it up. These 2 pages are watercolor paper front. This is plain back. There's no watercolor paper texture here, it's just plain paper. And it has that throughout the whole book. So these pages are watercolor pages. These are not. And then you go on through. Yeah, somebody did a mistake here. That's okay. And these aren't. These are watercolor pages. And these aren't. So it's every other page. So you could have a permanent layout here, because they're sewn in, by the way. A permanent layout here, and you can have nothing in between, or you could have a little collage or whatever here, something that's not going to seep through the other side. And it has a little holder. But what is very unique about this, it has a pocket in the back. Yeah, it has pocket. Yeah, you could put all kinds of crazy little items in here. You could put little coupons or tickets where you went somewhere, and you could have inspiration here, such as if you were going into the hospital for an easy procedure and they had to keep you overnight, you could put a little bit of items here, close it up. You could have this right by your side the entire time you're there, so you have a chance to relax and show them what you're made of. Yes, fun. So these stamp very well. And they color beautifully with their colored pencils. Oh, and those are their colored pencils as well as their gel pens I used on this page, because I'm using their products for their products, even though they blend beautifully with other products. I have my sales pitch on. I don't even know why. Sorry, I'm just enthusiastic over the product. Let's get this out of the way. We have some fun on this one. This is what we're going to do today. Let me get this out of here. Get off my book. I'm going to put you over in the corner. We're going to do a little watercolor scene on this one. And I went and drew the door, and I penned the door. We're going to do some washes, some light, dry washes. This is good for some markers, for some colored pencils, some pastel, anything that's dry or a slightly wet medium. You don't want to go too heavy on the water here, because you will have a problem and it won't be fun. And yeah, these go for $18.99 again, and they are 110 pound weight, excuse me. This is 5.1 by 8.3, or 8.3 long, 5.1 inches. It's perfection. I love it. I really do. So we're going to paint that here in a second, but there's one more thing that's going to date me, and it's going to make you laugh. I'm in my 40s. Okay, we know Teresa's in her 40s. But back in high school, when I had typing, we used typewriters. We didn't have computers. Well, we had computers, but we didn't have them for typing tests. So our typing tests, we were to format letters and format everything regulation style on a typewriter. And I don't know if you know what I'm talking about, but I'm going to use a term you haven't heard in a while, a typewriter eraser. What is a typewriter eraser? They used to be this long with a really firm eraser so you could get in there and get the ink. These are an eraser pencil precision kit, set of 6 for drawing. And they are long in length. They have a brush to wipe away your erasing. I sharpened it, as you can see. I've used it, and it's phenomenal. It really is. So if you're like I am and you draw a lot of versatility of everything from faces to flowers to animals to buildings to Mother Nature stuff like trees and flowers, you're going to love this. Now, I love a kneaded eraser, and I'm hoping they come out with kneaded erasers next. Kneaded erasers, you push and you lift. These, if you do a little too far in the white of the eye or whatever, you can go in and just gently scrub it out. Now, it's very flexible, and it won't break off, because I've erased, so I will show you here. So you can go in and erase. I'm going lightly at it. I don't want to hurt the paper. And then you can just wipe it away. See how easy that is to use? Phenomenal. These are phenomenal. And I looked online. Now, if you were to buy something like this, and you were to call it a typewriter eraser, you wouldn't find it, because they no longer sell stuff that are typewriters. These kids nowadays look at you like, oh, what is a typewriter? I don't know what that means. Does it plug into the wall? No, it doesn't plug into the wall. It's manual labor. Anyway, these online, for a set of 2 at Hobby Lobby, with no brush, are $6.99 for 2. To get a set of 5 eraser, pencil sharpener, $12.99. A much better deal. These are incredible. So if you don't have these in your drawing kit, I recommend you get these in your kit, because they are extremely awesome. And if you like to draw, like I do, you're going to find out that these are going to be fabulous. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set up everything I need to set up here. I will be back, and we are going to paint that scene, and we're going to talk about how beautiful those colors are. So stay tuned, my friends, and I will be right back. Alright, let's have some fun. Now, the first thing I want you to know is this is not a pen that is water soluble. The pen that I used is, let me get it out. I forgot to get it out. Micron. This is a permanent Lumicolor, whatever, and a Copic. These are alcohol ink, and they are permanent. Reason for that is we're going to put water over them. So I went in with their watercolor pencil, and drew the door, drew the above and some of the brick, and I took the Copic and I dotted, which is the Sepia, to put a little texture into the brick. But the door, this is going to be my whimsy watercolor journal for doors, windows, maybe some scenes, I'm not sure. But we're going to really have some fun today. And what I want to do first is I want to put out a dot. Small micro dot, just like that. Because we don't have a very big scene to paint. And that is the light apricot. Put that back there. Then I'm going to look at my reference photo for a second. Take a deep sigh. And I'm going to put out some Naples yellow. Those are the only 2 colors I'm going to put out first. Reason being, I forgot to pull out a large round. Hold on. The reason for that is because we're going to come in and play a little bit. Thank goodness all my brushes are behind me. That would have been awkward, right? I'm not professional. I'm here just to be sassy. Yeah, in a good way. You know you want to play. So I'm going to take a large round. I'm going to pull that towel in my hand, because as a watercolor artist, you have a towel in your hand at all times. And I'm going to go in with a little bit of water through here. And I'm just going to put that all on the brush. And before I even do that, I'm going to set the brush to the side. Pull down some wax paper. And I'm going to set that somewhat like that in case it tries to bleed through. Doesn't need to be Smurfing perfect, it just needs to be on there. As you can see, I pulled all that paint up. And now what I want to do, I want to take a look at my reference photo. Now I want to come in and just do some dry brushing with that on there. Need probably a little more water. Do a little bit of dry brushing, just even over the door. Now when you do scenes like this, you're going to want to come all the way out a little bit. But I did very little on that color because you don't want a lot of water on this paper. So now we're going to add, boy, this paint is beautiful, the Naples yellow. We're going to give it some glow in spots. So we're going to come right up here, and we're going to come through here a little, and over here, and we're just going to gently rub that in. Just gently get that on there, even on the door. Clean that palette off here, and just scrumble on the door, just like that. You want to get a little color in there. You don't want to go too crazy right off the bat, because now we're going to lay in the real colors. We're going to take our time. We're going to relax. We are in no hurry. And I want to do my door first. So I'm going to go in with the latte brown. I'm going to put just a very little dot. Well, that's kind of a big dot, but that's okay. I'm going to come in with a little tan because we're going to use these colors into the bricks as well. Now you're going to say the tan and the latte look about the same. They're actually not, which is the reason why you want these on there. Okay? So I'm going to take my big brush that I'm still going to use. I'm going to use my smaller brushes here in a minute. I'm going to go into my lighter base color here. Come off to the side. And I want to just kind of attempt to stay in a little bit of line there. And now, as you can see, I'm just going to pull this through. Just like that. Okay? It doesn't need to be overly fancy. So I'm going to just lay this in really quick. I have the pencil activated underneath. That's okay. See how gorgeous that looks? I love this color. So now I'm just going to come in and I'm going to lay a little of that color right here. I'll lay a little bit of that color over here. Because we're going to start doing our individual painting of things, but we do need some little buffer areas, and since there's nothing over here, we're just going to put a little of this color. Sorry, I didn't know I was off that way. Just put a little bit of that color like that right there. Do the same over here. I have to get more water on that brush. Okay, you're doing beautifully, by the way. I know. And you're just going to go a little darker over here. And don't worry about it, just go up over it too. The reason being is you're just setting a little scene that's glowing. The one thing about watercolor that makes it so fascinating is it is what I like to consider the world's first abstract art. When you do watercolor without the pen, you get to play with abstract. You get to do with the negative space and all that good stuff. Sometimes you come in and you're playing with just regular stuff and it's like, oh boy, what am I doing? I'm scared. You don't need to be afraid. I'm putting a little bit of the gray out now. We're going to have a little fun. I'm going to put a little bit of that blue with that because, oh, the stone blue is gorgeous. And we're just going to play and have a little fun. I'm not going to use my big brush for this. I'm going to use a nylon brush. Angle. We're going to play with the door a little bit more here, because we're not done with the door by any means. I'm going to take a bit of that blue in with that gray. Here we go. You ready? I'll get you so you can see. Alright, here we go. We're going to kind of just pull down here. And we're going to pull through there. Now, why are you pulling it like that, Teresa? It's an old door. And old doors have a lot of rustic qualities and things that are just fascinating. I'm going to go into that tan now with a little bit of gray. You hear my floor squeak, I'm sorry. And I'm just going to pull that on through. I'm not going to worry about the hinges just yet. We're just going to come in and sweep up some color. Now you don't have to go in and use the pen first, but I do because it helps me when I'm not quite so focused. You're going to say, you're not focused? I am focused, but see how I went down too far there? I'm not going to worry about that. Why? Watch. We'll just blend it in. See, it's perfect. It doesn't have to be overly dramatic. It just has to be fun for you. So moving on with a bit of burnt sienna now. And with that burnt sienna, we're going to add some water. I'm sighing because I'm having fun. And I'm going to take, boy, these colors are so vibrant. A tiny dot of that made all of this. It's quite fascinating. It really is. So now, I'm going to just lightly go underneath. Like that. I'm going to take this brush and smooth it in there. Like this, okay? As you can see, it's just a damp brush. Now I'm just going to blend the colors in together. Okay, I'm going to take that same color, turn the brush, I'm going to turn the page from my hand, and I'm going to go right there. Okay, and I'm going to take that round brush again, and I'm going to do this. Okay, you're doing wonderful. What you really want to do is you just want to work on staggering your colors a little bit. Don't worry about going over there. The doors are going to rust. I have to pause and I'll be right back. Right, sorry about that. Memory goes too fast on the thing here. I have to slow her down. Alright, so you're going to see that we have that in there. And come in and go in with some of the gray tone areas. And I blend that in. You're just going to age it a little bit. Now I'm going to go back and forth a little bit because I want to blend in some of those lines a little bit. Oh, see, isn't that just a pretty door? Wouldn't that just draw your imagination wondering if the Wizard of Oz lives there? Oh, don't even get me started on Wizard of Oz. My dad gets grunky. I don't like that show. You had to watch it too many times when you were a kid. I like the Wizard of Oz. Don't like it now, though. I learned some stuff. Isn't that life there? I don't like it now. I don't want to watch it. Take her around. I'm going to go into that gray and that blue again. And I just get that on the brush. I'm going to do the door frame now. They're almost like acrylic. They're so pigmented. And that's a good thing. Because I can come in with the damp brush. Get my head together here. And just tap it back. Like that. No worries, see? You're going to want to vary in some colors anyway. It's part of life. It makes everything fun. You're going to go right on down this side here. I'm being naughty. I'm going to go down over here a little more. You want the one on the outer part to be more solid, dark. I'm going to turn this around and I'm just going to paint that door frame in. It's the wood part that we're working on. Once we set the brick in, it'll all start to make a little bit of sense. So I'm going to go into those little browns that we have out of the, was it the latte, the taupe, is there a taupe out? Toffee, excuse me. I'll get it right. I'm just a little excited. And then very over here on the door frame, because this is still wood. And this over here is a brick, so you're not going to see the wood that holds the door in here. You're going to see it over here. It's an eyeball thing. I know. It's a crazy eyeball thing, but it's an eyeball thing. So now that we have that water on that brush, I'm going to go in and just lightly scoop it up and blend it in. Just like that, okay? Alright, get some water out again. And there you go. The door's about done. I want to go in with some vermilion red. I want to do the hinges. The little dot of red. And go in over it with the brown. I think that'll be really cool. So I'm going to mix those two colors together. Yep, that's the color. You want a little bit of a rusty color. Deep breath. Going in. So I want my hinges here, they're not my hinges, the brace part, to have a little bit of that color. And this is going to have a little bit of it too. Don't worry about going on the handle. We can fix it. And I'm just going to, and then what you want to do is you want to come under and lay some rust marks to one side, like it's been rusting and you antique it. It's a pretty cool effect, I think. But you never know in this life. You never know. So now I'm going back into the gray and that lovely stone blue. And we're going to put that right on the hinge. And I'm going to put it right on the handle. Right there. Okay, you're probably going to say, I can't see. You will. I'm going to swoop it through here to age up your door a little bit. The hinges look a little too new. You don't want that to look too new. And then you're just going to kind of play like that. Oh yeah, that looks so cool. You can even go around the hinge a little bit. Under here, I'm just going to blend that in. Smooth it down with your finger to make it look like it's all starting to rust. You can even add a touch of that color to your hinge. Right there. Get a little more of that. That's working for me. Get a little more of that. And then on your handle of your door. That looks pretty good so far. Not bad for being in a hurry, huh? I know. Don't worry about it. Alright, time to lay in some brick and get sassy here. Let's get a little sassier. So I went in with that color. I'm going to take a bit of this, a dab of that, a little dibby dabby doo, a little Scooby Doo. Never hurt anybody, right? I agree. So above the door, this is not wood. I'd say it's like a concrete. I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm not a builder. I am going to have to sharpen that edge. So I'm going to take this little brush we were using. I'm going to kind of sharpen that edge there. And then take and clean that big brush off with water. And now I'm going to just lightly let it blend in like that. I love that. That's pretty. I'm going to go back to the little brush here. I'm going to square this corner up a little bit. And we're going to bring that in. You're going to leave a little bit of a line here. And don't worry about that. I'm going to get some water on the brush. I'm going to pull that in. Pretty awesome, isn't it? I love the way that this paper is performing so far. I think it's awesome sauce. I really do. So I'm going to go in to a little bit of the deeper brown here. Wipe my brush off. And I'm going to say, and take some of that and just dry brush where we cracked it. And then it looks pretty cool, huh? I like it. I like it a lot. So I need to take one of my darker colors, which is a burnt umber, a smidge out, and now I have to, because I'm following one section of the painting now at a time, well, right here, you want to pick about half here, go over it with that color, and go around the door, and lightly, right here, just kind of lay in a little bit of a shadowy part, and it'll help give it a little dimension. I'm going to do the same here. Just make your lines kind of broken. You don't have to be too perfect at it. If you see something bothering you, all you do is go to your brush, because it's watercolor, and include it. Pick up a little bit more of that gray. Smooth it over. Just like that. Looking good. Looking good. Time to lay some brick in. That's going to be the challenging part. Not really. So I'm going to lay in some brick right here. I'm going to go tree. It's okay. Don't worry about it. You don't want these too perfect. You want it to look old and vintage. But you're going to say, but Teresa, you're taking off your dots. That's okay. Because I can see where I put the brick. It needs to be a little bit different. in all the areas. It's a neat little trick, isn't it? I agree. I'm going to go over here and I'm going to pull this in. I'm going to pull that right like that. And I'm going to go in with my brush and I'm going to just pull some back. Oh, pulled it too far back. That's alright. It needed more, it said. So we did it. The one thing you don't want to do is you don't want to go in a straight line across the whole thing. It's going to look funny. So I'm going to have to pause again, reset this, and we're going to have more fun. I'll be right back. Alrighty then, let's have more fun. I have some sepia out. Now the real reason you would normally use blacking for this, as you can see the brown is disappearing. That doesn't bother me too much. We're just going to go under some of these here with some of that color. I like it. I think it's pretty. And I'm just going to let it do what it wants to do. I'm going to paint some more of this other color in. We're just going to move it along. And we're going to come in and remove some color. Remove it, we just got started, I know. You'll understand. So then I don't want all of that color in the same area. I'm going to move it around. As you can see, you just want a brick shape. You don't want it too fancy. It takes the eye off of what you're doing. And that is, you're trying to pull it everywhere at once. I'm just going with some pure pigment now. And I'm going to pull right off here, because bricks are all different colors, all kinds of shapes too. And I come in here with that, even though it looks like it's going to blend. I'm going to switch the color out again. I'm going to come into this color right through here. I went into the door, take your finger and move it back. That's all you do. And you can just kind of see how you're going to lay these brick colors in. Fairly simple and fairly easy. If you hear the TV, I apologize. I've asked repetitively for it to be turned down. The news is on. So I'm going to go right across like this. And I'm going to just kind of keep moseying around. No big deal. You see how that goes? Just have fun with it. Alright, so now I'm going to go into the blue and the gray again. We're going to put that into some brick. Yes, we're going to put that in some brick. We're only going to keep that over on this side though, because this is the side that's going to get the shade. Well, this is, I should say. And I need to get it all worked out in my little head. So let's put on, I think we put burnt sienna on already, did we not? Yeah, we did. Let's put on some more toffee. Is that what we need? More toffee. No, we don't need more toffee either. The latte brown, that's what we need. A little more of that. Oh, that's a big dot. That's okay. Don't worry about it. The big dot was just a little dot. Just kidding around with you. So we have quite a few more little bricks to go. I don't know why, when I was drawing this picture, that some of the bricks were larger in areas and thinner in others. And it's just really crazy. Really, really crazy, but still pretty. Nonetheless. Anyway. I'm going to sweep through here. And we come right over here with that color too. And I will be dotting over these with the lovely black. And I want to put this right here. Yeah, I love the way that's looking. I know it looks a little crazy, but you'll understand it in a minute. Take your time. Don't be afraid to add some red in there, because that's what I'm doing right now. I'm going to add some red. I mixed it with a brown, so it wouldn't be too. That's the vermilion red. Yeah. Yep. I'm going to go in with this. Right here. And swoop right there. And come in between. And just kind of keep varying around them a little bit. When I get our pen out, we'll darken under some of these bricks. I think that is what the coolest part of just playing is, having fun. Making things a little industrial, making them look a little cool. Fancy smancy. So there's the double check, yeah, there's brick over here. To look at my picture. So I mixed some colors on this. And that's okay with me. As you know, I like to play anyway, right? Teresa, are you ever going to be professional? Professional is when I'm quiet by myself. Sassy is when I have the camera recording. I'm at my best. I'm inspiring you to be who you want to be. Color outside the lines. Enjoy yourself. Get it done the way you want to. No one's going to tell you you can't do it right. But you're going to love these colors. Well, let me tell you. You don't have to worry about these cracking on your paper. They won't do that. They do crack if, like I said, you let them dry. That's not always the fun part of life. And I don't like that when that happens, because it upsets me. I don't like wasting product. So I'm going to go up here where there's more brick. I'm just going to lay in some brick. Now sometimes the mortar around the brick is going to crack, so you're going to see that in some pen work. Don't worry about it. Just let the pen do what it needs to do and have some fun. Okay? Let's leave that up here. And I kind of come through there and make sure there's a little bit more brick there. Right up here. We have some brick at the base here. And come in and just throw some color in. I think that's fun. I think that's a really good time right there. Clean that brush off. Go in and do a little more. That looks good to me. It looks real good. Real good. So over here we're going to lay in another batch of long brick. I'm going to use some dark right here. In fact, I might swish that over a little longer. There we go. Come in like that. You see that? Oh, you are doing wonderful. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. Scenes like this are fun. The book is just incredible to work with. I have no pilling, and that is awesome. And I went over here a little bit because my fingers coated. That's okay. That is a-okay. So now I'm going to come right over here. There's a long one there. And I take that red, and I'm just going to go right on through. Just like that. Yes, look at that. It's starting to come together, isn't it? So pretty. And yet, not so time consuming. Who knew? Right? I know, right? It's crazy. So we're going to let that dry for a minute. I'm going to come in a little bit here and there with a bit of a darker wash. I'm going to turn the book and get my hand over where I want it. So we're going to come over here, and I'm using too small of a brush for that. That's alright, I do that a lot. I'm going to go into that blue and gray. So we're going to come in. You're just going to take a little bit like this, because this is our corner where it's supposed to be dark. And take it right up. Okay? I'm going to go right in, right like that. You see how we put that dark in there? You're starting to see that it's got a little bit of darkness coming in. Just wiggle your brush down like this. Right? Don't worry about it. You can do this. It's just simple little hand maneuverings, alright? So I painted that there a little too light. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pause with that. I'm going to get up my liner brush and go into that dark red again. In with a little bit of the toffee. And I'm going to paint this darker. Just paint it a little darker. I have to get a little more water on there. There you go. See that? Okay, I'm going to come in through here. Keep doing it. I can't seem to get my hand on there, right? There we go. I was trying to use the tip of a brush, and that's not very smart. Don't worry about that. Why? Because now you're going to have a little fun. You're going to take a little bit of the gray. We have to pull more out. I'm not worried about it. And now you're going to take that, and you're just going to go leave some white spots. There. Okay, that looks pretty Smurfing perfect, doesn't it? I'm going to put out some more gray here, and I'll be right back. Alrighty, everyone, before we finish up, I'm going to come in and just use some little bit of lines here and there. And you're going to just dot. To keep rubbing my pen off, because it's reactivating what's underneath, and that's cool. Come in and just do a bunch of little dots, just for a little texture. Normally I would take my time doing this part, but I'm kind of in a hurry. Not really. I cannot wait for them to come out with the micron pens, because I know that Arteza is going to want to make some, because I'm reading their mind. And no, they didn't tell me. I'm just guessing. Might as well. They have everything else, and I'm being sincere when I say it. Now, I had someone ask me, are you tired of them? No. Never. Are their products really that great? Oh, yes. The only thing that's missing is the binder. That's proper in the watercolor, so you can put it in little pans. But you know what? I like to work straight from the tube sometimes anyway. So you're just going to play around. As you can start to see, we're getting back some of our texture. To keep rubbing my pen off. That's okay. That's a-okay. See how that works? And I come up here and do the same thing. I don't care if it looks like I'm leaving lines, because sometimes it's cool just to come in and leave little lines or shadows. You don't want to do every one. You want to leave the eye and the mind going in to it, having a little fun. The dots of texture are just something that I like to put in. I think that it kind of looks better than blocks of color at times. And as you can see, I'm just scribbling them in there. Nothing fancy. So we're going to just lay in a little line to break that color up, so you know that there's a step right there. Do you see how the pen works with the watercolor? So if you see something like a little bit of area you want to tighten up here, just kind of come around with your pen. Doesn't mean that you can't go over it again. Like right there. You want to put your little rivets back in. Feel free to do so before we finish up the whole picture. So where I have this gray and the brown there, I'm going to come in and I'm going to lay a little thicker. Just a little thicker line. Now I'm scribbling back and forth because I don't want a straight line, because Mother Nature's not perfect. And when it's rustic, it's definitely not perfect. So as you can see, we have the pen in there. That's just my choice on the brick, like I said. Now we're going to go back to our big round. And I pulled out more gray. And what I want to do, I have to move my pen bucket to the floor. Sorry about this. I want to come over to the right side here, and some areas where they're a little light, and come in with a little gray, but I have to make it sure it's softer. There we go. So I'm going to come over here just a little bit, kind of lay in a little bit of fading, if you will, to some of the colors. Not too much though. I'm going to pull that back, just like that. Okay. Now we're going to lay in the shadow over the door and the pathway. So I'm going to come over to the pathway about here, because we don't know if there's brick or mortar or whatever there's there. Alright, I'm going to take that brush, I'm going to thin a few areas out, like right here. I'm going to walk that off to the side, and I'm going to take, you ready? Deep breath here. You're going to wiggle down like this, and then you're going to pull straight down. Yep, you're just going to go right over that with that gray. That's all you're going to do. You're going to go right over that with that gray. The door into the thing. It's your light source. It's having fun. You're going to go, Teresa, trust me, it'll make it work. This is our darker side. So in order for that to be the darker side, we have to put a little dark in. So I'm going to go back with a little bit of light apricot in areas. And I'm going to play with this. Okay, you ready? And then come over here. I'm going to take a little more of that color. And I just want to wiggle that color around a little bit. And bring it down here a little. Add a little bit to there. And I want to go over that too. It's driving me nuts. Happens, doesn't it? Yeah, I know. I'm going to try to get a little more gray out of here. If it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it's okay. We'll pull more out. So I just want to pull this straight down. Straight down. And blend it down. Just like that. Yep. And there you have it. A finished rustic door with Arteza Watercolors. They're colored, or they're woodless watercolor pencils. And they're fabulous watercolor books. I'll get it right one of these days. And I did some erasing with the eraser on it, and we've had fun. I highly, highly recommend these products, and I highly, highly recommend the paper. Do you see that? That is incredible. That is just incredible. That is a fun book for watercolor adventures of your little whimsy head, I guess. So I want you to see the 10% off coupon below. I want you to go exploring for whatever you want to play with. And I want you to play with more colors than the rainbow. I give the watercolors 10 thumbs. Well, I give them an 8 because I can't exactly put them in a pan. But the color variety, the opaqueness, and the light fastness is a 10. That's all I can say. The variety is incredible, and I'm going to show you more through the month. That coupon is good through the 31st of March. I get a small commission, as I said. I don't get a lot. But these books, if you're into just pen, oh, they won't bleed. They are fabulous. Marker, a little light touch on the marker. But I know for a fact once this dries, it's not going to be buckled all the dickens. But this was quite a fun thing to do. And I highly recommend everything. I am a big fan. I really am. And it isn't just because they offered me a little product. Because I'm honest, if I didn't like it, I'd beat on it. And that's why I told you don't put it in a pan. Because it's going to break and you're going to cry. Because I cried a little bit myself when I used them all in a tube. And I couldn't use and play with them like I wanted to. So I hope you get out your inspiration. Buy one of these little books. And have some fun. Alright? Thank you for joining me as I tested these wonderful products in this wonderful book. Oh, I'm having fun. You'll be seeing more of these books come to play. This book especially, is we're going to play with this in watercolor, obviously, and the other one's going to be little sketches and stuff. So thank you so much for joining me today. And bless me be in your life. Bless me be on your journey. Thank you for blessing me with your presence. I want you to stay classy. I want you to stay sassy. But most of all, loves, I want you to stay you. It's most important. Much love and many hugs. And I will see you Friday for more fun. Bye for now, sweets. See you soon.